Hey, Aunt Patty. So now that your back is feeling better by doing the other exercises and walking and doing all of that, now we want to add some strength in. And so what you're going to do is start with just 10 minutes of backward walking. So just like it says. So you're just going to step back, push off your toes, and walk backwards. So you can just find a small space where you can go outside and do your backward walking. So just backward walking for 10 minutes. This is going to be good warm up for you, and then we're going to get into the workout, which is we're going to start with a split squat, but with your foot elevated. So we're going to have one foot up on a chair or on a bench or a lower platform. You can do it with your foot on the ground, but I like to start it here. So the goal being you're going to have your one leg up on something, and then your back leg is going to be perfectly straight. You want to squeeze your butt as hard as you can and brace your core, keep your chest tall, and then you're going to shift forward to wherever you can shift forward to. So we're really squeezing as hard as we can here, bracing here, chest is up, we shift forward, pause here, drive off the leg that's in the front. You really only have to come to like knee above the ankle and then fall forward again. Hold and come back up. Come down, float forward. Everything is braced, push back up. You should feel a nice opening in the front of your hip. That glute is being engaged here and coming back up. So do about 10 of these on one side, and then we'll switch and do 10 on the other side. That's going to really help open the front of your hip, which will help to alleviate a lot of that tension in the back. So again, your knee is over your ankle, your back leg is nice and straight. You're bracing you're tightening your butt and your core. Chest is high, shift forward, really bracing everything. Come back up, shift forward, maybe 2 seconds, 4 seconds, whatever feels good. If you really feel a nice stretch in the front of the hip, maybe hold it for a couple more seconds. Again, really bracing. The big thing is making sure you're squeezing your butt and your core nice and strong, because that's going to help to open the front of your hips, which when you open the front of your hips, that takes a lot of strain and pressure off of your back. So we'll do 10 on each side of that. Then you're going to come down to the ground and you're going to do the Y's, T's, and L's. So we're going to lay on the floor, your feet are together, you can squeeze your butt, your head can stay on the floor. You're going to have your arms starting in a Y position, thumbs up. We did this in your thoracic video, but if you forget, we're going to be here. You're going to relax your shoulders away from your ears, lift your elbows off the floor, then lift your hands off the floor, reaching through your fists. 1, 2, and then lower down. Relax your shoulders, lift the elbows, reach up and out. 1, 2, and down. Relax your shoulders, lift, and relax. Shoulders, elbows, hands, relax. Shoulders relax, elbows up, fists up, relax. Shoulders, elbows, hands. So again, we'll do 10 of the Y's. Once you get through 10 Y's, you're going to bring your arms out to the sides and do the same thing. So the shoulders relax, the elbows are up and lengthen. Then we reach out through our fists as we lift our hands off the ground and relax. Shoulders, straighten the elbows, reach through the fists and relax. Relax the shoulders, straighten the elbows, lift the fists and relax. Shoulders, elbows, fists, relax. Shoulders, elbows, fists, relax. Shoulders, elbows, fists, relax. Good. Once you do 10 of those, we're going to come into the L's. So we're just bending the elbows. And from here, it's the same thing. So shoulders, elbows lift, fists lift, hold for 2 seconds, and relax. Shoulders relax, elbows up, fists up, and relax. Shoulders, elbows, fists, 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 relax. And once you get through 10 of those, then we can go to the next exercise. Those you should really feel in that middle trap area in your back. So again, we want to make sure we're strengthening everything in our on the posterior side of our body to help strengthen all of your back from the top to the bottom. So the next thing we're going to do, they're called Nordic hamstring curls or glute ham falls. So there's a number of ways you can kind of do this. One is like I'm going to do it this way. This is my makeshift way, which is I'm just putting a heavy dumbbell on top of the bench and I'm going to stuff my feet underneath so it holds me there. If you have a partner, like you can have Uncle Chris hold your ankles down and he would just hold this part of your ankles and then you're just going to like fall forward. So your goal is to fight it. They also have in the store or you can order online, they're called like Nordic straps. And it's like a device that you can hook into a door and close the door, and then it would hold your feet for you. They're like $30, so that's another option if you wanted to try that instead. But what you're gonna do is once you're here, you're stuffing your feet under something that's super heavy and sturdy so it doesn't go anywhere and you don't go anywhere, or have somebody hold your legs down. So again, as our theme is, squeeze your butt. So we're really bracing our butt here. Our core is nice and strong. We're gonna kind of turn everything on. We're trying to just lean forward and hold as far as you can. And if you want, you can start by just kind of coming forward a little bit and then come back. Otherwise, you can really go and try to go all the way to the floor. So if your hamstrings are kind of weak, you'll probably fall pretty quick. So if you wanted to start by just doing like a little lean and come back, come and do a little lean, hold for like maybe 3 to 5 seconds and then pull yourself back. You can do it that way. Or again, if you want to do the full falls, you just have to have your hands ready. You can kind of fold forward, hold, try to fight it, and then push yourself back up and use your hamstrings to kind of pull you the rest of the way up. So again, tightening that butt as much as you can, bracing your core, arms are strong, fight, fall forward, push a little bit, but finish it with the hamstrings as you come back up. Again, we want to try for 10 of these. So everything's tight and turned on, fight, push, and use your hamstrings to pull you the rest of the way. Sometimes, I'm just going to point it out, sometimes if your hamstrings are not ready for it, they will kind of like cramp up a little bit. So that's why it's really important to do that backward walking first to warm up your body and your muscles, so you're not just jumping right into these where your hamstrings are like, ah! So again, you want to do about 10 of these. Fight. I'm still working on these. I haven't done them in a long time. But once you get really good, some people can literally like go super slow like this all the way to the floor, touch their chest to the floor, and pop back up. I can't do that, but that's a goal. Okay, so once you get 10 of those, then we're gonna go to our QL Oblique Straddles. So before you come into these, just kind of walk around a little bit and just let those hamstrings shake out. You might need to just like shake your legs out a little bit because they do make your hamstrings, you'll feel those a lot. So then when you come into the straddle, you're gonna be like, woo! Almost like you're getting stretching out those hamstrings that you just were working on. So if we come into this position, you're gonna come into a straddle. I mean, if you're not super flexible, this might be it. But try to get your legs as wide as you can. You can use your hands to kind of push forward a little bit. And once you're here, we're gonna bring our arms up overhead and extend the elbows. So we want to extend the elbows and keep them extended the whole way. So you're just going to be leaning over to the side. And again, especially in the beginning, just go to like a moderate, like don't try to like really force your way over. Just go to where you can comfortably go to. You'll feel your core start to kind of engage over here. That's what we want. And then when you get to your furthest range that's comfortable for you, brace that core to pull yourself back to the center. And then go to the other side. So elbows stay straight. As people lean over, the tendency is to want to let the elbows bend. Don't let the elbows bend. Only go to where you can with the arms perfectly straight. Brace your core, pull yourself back to the center. Again, we're doing 10 to each side. Brace and pull back up. So it's almost like you're stretching on the way over, brace and come back up. Stretching on the way over, brace and come back up. So we're doing 10 to each side. Keep those arms nice and straight. Again, the way to progress that would be you could add weight to your hands. So you could hold a dumbbell or books or cans of food or whatever you want to do to add more weight. But I would do it just like this for a while, 10 to each side, and kind of work on, subsequent times you do this, maybe try to get further into that stretch to the side, further, brace and come up before you start adding weight to that. So 10 to each side for those QL oblique straddles. And then we're going to a back extension. So for the back extension, if you have a stability ball, use a stability ball. If you don't, you can do it just on the floor. So I guess let me show you from the floor. Ideally, you want something that's going to be elevated, so like a ball, or if you're at the gym, you could use a back extension machine. Also at the gym, they typically have like a Nordic ham, well, depending on your gym, glute ham fall machine, or at least something there that you can stuff your feet under. So if you're just doing it on the ground, you would just be here and again, squeezing your butt as hard as you can, and then just lifting up. You can start with your arms at your sides when you do this. So it's just squeezing everything and lifting your chest up, holding for maybe 10 seconds or so, and then lowering down and maybe doing 6 of those. So it's a minute, 10-second holds. Then you can work to like arms out at the sides and then arms up in the front, which is going to be the hardest variation. So if you don't have anything, you can do it like that. If you do have a ball, I recommend using the ball to be a little bit higher so you have more of a range to go forward and back. So again, if you have a ball, go up next to a wall or against something sturdy so you can push your feet into it. You're going to get your belly on the ball, your legs are straight, pushing your feet into the wall, and you're going to let yourself fold over the ball. You can kind of like rearrange to get yourself in a comfortable position, and then once you're in that comfortable spot, you let yourself kind of fold over. Again, you're going to tighten your butt, roll yourself up so you're in a nice straight line, and hold for 10 seconds. So we're really squeezing our glutes as much as possible. We're strengthening that lower back, the erectors in our lower back, all of those that support the spine, all the muscles that support the spine there, and then come back down. Again, if this is too much, just do what you can do. So if you're here, push your feet into the wall, squeeze your butt. You can even use your hands to kind of help you to come up, and just come up to a place that is comfortable for you, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your butt. That's the most important thing, and just lift up. And if you want to, you can have your hands lift up and then put them back down, have them up, come back down. Maybe eventually you hold here, up and down, up and down, and then maybe eventually you can bring your arms back and down, holding for 10 seconds before you're relaxing, okay? And then roll all the way back down. Relax your legs a little bit, and then push your legs so your legs are nice and straight. Squeeze your butt, roll yourself back up, and then eventually you could get to maybe where you can reach your arms out in the front hold for 10 seconds, and come back down. And you'll just do that. Again, starting small, especially if your back is still a little bit flared up. Definitely don't just jump right into these. I would start with the assisted, with the hands assisting you up, maybe just short little releases, really squeezing your butt, lifting your chest, and then lower back down. Okay? So getting up, squeeze, 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 kind of trying to lift your chest up, holding 10 seconds, and then come back down. Okay? So those are your back extensions. Sometimes there's back extension machines, like I said, at the gym. You can use that instead. Okay, and then we're going to go to our L sit next. So you have 2 variations for that as well. So one is seated on the ground, and the other is seated on a chair or a bench or something like that. I'll show it to you on the bench first, because this will be the easier way. So if your hands are elevated, it's a little bit easier. So if you're sitting on a bench, you're going to kind of push yourself up. So almost like you're going to get ready to do like tricep dips or whatever. But you're going to sit on the edge of a chair, push through your arms, lift your butt up off of the chair, and then you're just going to do single leg raises from here. And you might not get them up too high, and that's okay. We're working, it's called an L sit. So you're working their core muscles by doing this. So, and then also your triceps by pushing off the ground. So we push, lifting our chest, pushing up, get our butt up off the ground, and then lift one leg and relax it up, and alternating sides. So then you could get to where you come down to the ground. This one's going to be harder because it's harder to just lift yourself up off the ground to get to that position. If you need to, you could probably stack some books or have dumbbells to push yourself up also, which would give you a little more space to get up off the ground. You could do it with your fists too to get you here, but then you're just going to basically do the same thing, which is just lift, hold, and relax, lift, hold, and relax. And so again, you're working those lower abs as you do that, which will also help. That forms that whole corset around your lower spine to make sure that we're supporting all of that. So once again, 10 raises on each leg. And then last but not least, for our strength section is seated good mornings. So you're going to get back on your chair or a bench. You can sit at the edge of the bench. Your heels are going to be further out than your knees, and your toes are pointing out to the sides. So for these, we're going to straighten our arms, make them our fists, and reach down. We're going to keep our chest up as we fold forward. So you have a nice flat back as you lean forward. Just again, going to where you can comfortably go. Brace everything and pull yourself back up. So you're folding forward, you have a nice flat back. You can kind of push through your feet, brace your core, and use your back muscles to pull you back up. Okay, so leaning forward, the big thing here is making sure your back stays flat as you come forward. So that might mean that this is all you can do for now. That's okay. Just fold forward to where you can comfortably go, and then bring yourself back. As you keep doing this, you're going to also get some stretching through the inner parts of your legs and some strength. And you're going to strengthen a lot of different muscles by doing that. So obviously we're doing 10 reps again. Coming back up, you can progress this obviously by holding weights in your hands, but I would do it just without anything at first and just using tension in your body to simulate having weights. So again, you're going to do 10 of those. So once you do all of those, see how you feel. First time you do it, only do 1 round. Next time you do it, maybe do 2 rounds if you felt good and you didn't have any flare-ups or anything like that. I would hope not. And then you could ultimately work up to 3 rounds of anywhere from 10 to 20 reps of everything. Once you finish all of that, then you can do your final 3 stretches if you want to add them in, or you could do them later in your day or whenever you want to do them. These are just 3 good stretches to do. The first one is a piriformis stretch, stretching out your glutes. Again, a lot of times the glutes get really tight and it can affect your low back as well. So piriformis stretch is great. I personally like to do this one with my leg on the bed or on something just a little bit higher. You can do it with a bench, you could do it on the floor, either one is fine. I feel like I get a better stretch when I do it with my leg up on something higher. So basically you're gonna take your leg, if you've done the pigeon stretch before in like yoga or something like that, it's the same thing. So you have your leg in like that 90-degree angle, your hands are in front of you, and then you can kind of lower down, but we're gonna add like a little push-up to it, and you're gonna go in 3 different directions. So first is your chest is gonna go straight ahead. You kind of lower your chest towards the ground, push yourself back up. You can turn your chest to be over your knee and push back up, turn your chest to be over your foot and come back up, and then you can kind of just go between all 3 of those, and you'll feel that in your glute a lot. So another angle of that would be, and make sure you do both sides, obviously. So again, you're here, kind of sink down so you get a deeper stretch. Your chest comes over the front of your leg, you push back up, your chest comes over, and you can move your hands. So your chest comes over your knee, you push back up, your chest comes over your foot, you come back up, and maybe cycle through that 3 or 4 times with each direction. And you might find that one of those directions is way tighter than the other, so maybe hold that for a little bit longer. Again, if you were to do it on the floor, typically you would slide your one leg up and then walk the other leg back, so you're in that pigeon position, and then you would do the same thing. So you would come down to do that like push-up, chest over the shin, chest over your knee, chest over your foot, and you can kind of just work around and get those in every direction. And obviously we want to switch sides. So again, so you can start in that cat-cow position or tabletop position. You're going to slide your knee up, sweep your foot over, walk your opposite leg back, and then from there you do your push-ups to each side, spending more time holding at the bottom, the one that maybe feels the most tight. Okay, so then after you do the piriformis push-up, you can come to a wall or a couch. This is called the couch stretch, so you can do it at the couch. If you need to, get a mat for underneath your knees so they're a little more cushioned. So at the wall, you can be in that tabletop position again, and what you're going to do is kind of just wiper your leg up to be up against the wall, and then turn yourself so your knee is towards the wall, your foot is up on the wall or on the couch, and then you're going to take your opposite knee and just start walking it forward. When you're here, you want to be squeezing your butt of the foot that's up on the wall. Squeeze your butt, kind of brace your core, and keep your chest up. You might feel that stretch from here, right in the front of that hip. If that's the case, just hang out here. If you're like, I don't really feel anything too much, then sweep the leg up. And then, so you can see my leg is up forward, and then, you're squeezing your butt. Okay, yeah, I feel that a little bit more. If you still don't feel it, then you're gonna come up into this position here, and that, I feel definitely a lot of stretch there. You're gonna hold that, and then ultimately you're working on trying to get upright and then bring the arms up. So those are your progressions, but you only wanna go to where you first feel that stretch kick in, and you're just gonna breathe in. Again, making sure you squeeze that back glute, because that's gonna help open up the hip, just like that first exercise we did with the split squat standing. You want that same kind of sensation, okay? So then you would wiper your foot to get out of it, And then you can just switch and do the same thing. I like to just bring my knee back. I would just go in tabletop, bring my knee back, and then sweep the leg forward and hold it here. Again, nice long chest, squeezing your butt, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor, breathing into the hip, full breaths. You can even add, like, push your leg into the wall for 6 seconds and relax. You can shift forward for 6 seconds and relax. Whatever you want to do, just kind of play around, just hold, squeeze your glute for 6 seconds and relax. You can kind of play around with it and then working on just getting that hip to really open up. And this one feels really good, especially once you're done and you stand up and you're like, oh, there's some lightness to moving around like that. So it really just helps to open up and you kind of feel a lot freer once you do that, and it takes a lot of that strain and pressure out of the low back as well. And then the last one is a deep squat hold. So ideally, you want to be able to get to a point where you could hang out in this position for like 10 minutes. And first, you might not even be able to get into it. So what I would say is come to like a door or a pole or something you can hang on to. Hold somebody's hands as you lower down. So you're going to start here and just start working on lowering down into a squat, into a deep squat. So as you lower down, you just kind of sink to wherever you can comfortably sink down to. And if you can get all the way down to that lower deep squat position, great, hold that position. And you're just going to hold that for as long as you can until it's uncomfortable. And then try to just work your way to come right back up and out of it. So ideally, you want to be able to do it without holding on to anything. So if you want, you can kind of play around with your feet a little bit. You can kind of toe out just slightly. That's usually a little more comfortable for most people. And then you're just coming down into that lower position and holding here. This one is really great. Again, we want to keep our chest up. But this one's really great for ankle mobility, for knee mobility, for hip mobility, for back lengthening, for keeping your body up. It's going to work on some pelvic floor muscles and things like that. So it's just a really great position to get yourself into. I've heard from physical therapists that if you do have hip labral tears, that this is a great position to put yourself in because you can become asymptomatic, so no symptoms, even though you still have the tears. This just helps to maintain mobility. So the biggest thing for every injury that you could have is that you want to maintain mobility. And so the more mobility you can have, the more ability you can have. So yeah, so being able to be hanging out in this position for minutes is great. When I first started doing it, I couldn't get down into this position, and then I could start to actually get it and hold it, but then like my tibialis, my shins would start burning when I was in this position. So expect to feel some discomfort when you first start. It's going to be hard. You might want to just fall back and outwards. You might not even be able to get down here because maybe your ankles are not mobile enough and you can't even get your heels to be flat when you come down in that position. You might feel like your knees are caving in because your hips are super tight. So we want to like try to open up our hips. We want to, and when you're here, you can kind of play around with some different shifting around in different positions to try and just get comfortable working the hips in different positions just to not make it so boring. Sometimes you can just grab your phone, come down in this position and, you know, play Wordle or something. But anyway, great position to be in. And then once again, once you're done in that position, then you can come up out of it, and then that's it. That's it for the day. So again, you don't have to do all 10 minutes. If you're going to be in this position, you don't have to do all 10 minutes at one time. I would sometimes just set a timer, 10 minutes, and then I would come down into it, hold it for like 5 seconds, come back up, shake out, come back down, and whatever I could do in that 10-minute time frame is what I could do. And then eventually I started being able to hold it for a little bit longer and a little longer until I could actually hold the full 10 minutes in that position with no problem. So give it a try. And once again, just always, as always, ask me any questions that you have. If any of those don't feel particularly good, you can shoot me a message or shoot a video and send it to me so I can see what you're doing. And we can always switch up the exercises to change it up a little bit. So hope that helps. I love you and have a great day. Bye.